6:01 p.m. January 28th, we're at the Administration Building, the Swartz Creek Community Schools. We'll start out with a roll call of members. Sue, would you please do that for us?
Kim Winter? Yes. Andrea Fick? Present. Chuck Melke?
Here.
Ken Engel?
Present.
Autumn Henry? Here. Jenny Walgast?
Present.
Carrie Germain?
Present.
All here.
All present. Thank you. We'll do the pledge of the flag for everybody to stand up.
Mr. Melke, I'm sorry, could we have the children that are here come up
Sure.
for the pledge?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Go get the mic, dude. You can. I think it'd be hilarious.
They can,
Got the mic?
just four is all we got. There's one down over there.
Say the pledge with that mic.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. Good job, friends. I couldn't hear it.
That was awesome.
I'm going to take over for a minute, Mr. Melke.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is, January has always been dedicated as a Board Appreciation Month. So there's several things that we always do at the beginning of board meetings in January. So the first thing I want to do is I want to read a proclamation that has come out of the governor's office. The governor every year does do a proclamation, and I want to read the proclamation. So it says, January 2026, as School Board Recognition Month, whereas Michigan is home for nearly 600 locally elected local school boards that work to enrich the lives of Michigan students through education and directly influence instruction in Michigan public schools. And whereas local school board members are exceptionally public servants who have dedicated and committed themselves to this duty by governing school districts, listening to parents' voices, and advancing student achievement and well-being in the schools and communities they serve. And whereas, during this month, we join with the Michigan Association of School Boards, Michigan Department of Education, local school districts, and community organizations to recognize and raise awareness of the countless efforts and contributions of local school boards and school board members throughout Michigan. Now, thereafter, I, Gretchen Whitmer, Governor of Michigan, do hereby proclaim January 2026 as School Board Recognition Month in Michigan. So,
Thank you.
and I know that we have several presentations that we're going to do, so I would like to start off with our little dragons.
Hello. Hello. We have some friends that are coming to help too. Kyle, with help? With help? You just put them to where they're. So the kids are passing out some folders for you guys. I'm so sorry, the first page got used. If you'll open it up and see, you have a little thank you note from our littlest dragons in there. Sorry, this is my future little dragon in the fall, so this will be my third little dragon to go through the program. This is my middle, and my oldest also went through Little Dragon, so this is my last one. I am Elise Higgerson. I am one of the GSRP teachers at Little Dragons. I'm in my 6th year teaching GSRP at Little Dragons, and I previously taught in Flint schools for 4 years, and I just have to say, when I moved from Flint schools to Swartz Creek, what a wonderful experience I've had coming here. A lot of that has to do with our fabulous director, Miss May. It is such a blessing to have her. And our program has numerous just awards for being high quality, for making the best program we can for our kids. We make sure that we are giving them the highest quality education that we can, and preparing them for entering the elementary schools. It's a passion of mine, and it's very important to me. Early childhood is a huge part of these kids' lives, and if we can do anything to better prepare them for going into school and into the elementaries, by gosh, we do it. So we just kind of put together a little thank you video. So yeah, this is all of our kids.
What do you like about school?
Eating.
You like to eat. Max, what do you like about school?
Because I want everyone to play with me. Because they're my best friends.
What do you love about school, Paisley?
I like that we get to do fun things and paint fun things.
What about school?
I love about my friends, and I love about my teachers, and I love about watching movies at home.
What do you like about school?
I like playing.
What do you like to play with?
The baby.
The babies. Yeah. What else do you like about school?
I like eating and playing.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing to do at school? Play with toys with me? Yeah, I like playing with toys with you too.
I like playing outside. I like playing outside. My favorite thing about school is playing with my friends. My favorite thing about school is being responsible and playing with my friends with your hands. Keep to yourself. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
our elementary school.
Hello, good evening. First, I just want to say I'm Jacqueline Thompson, principal at Moorish Elementary, and I just want to say thank you for your service. We have created a video, words are hard, it's been a long day, a video representing all of our buildings for you guys, and then I know you had some words to say as well.
Sure. I also just want to say thank you for all your time and effort you put into representing us in the school board. And in your bags, you'll find a couple of tokens of appreciation. One of the items in your bag are handmade clay owls that our fifth graders made, and it represents the wisdom you bring into guiding our district with care and helping us to stick true to our values. So we appreciate the work you do. In addition, there's an invitation to our Kindness in the Creek event that's happening on February 17th, which happens to be our Random Acts of Kindness Day. That whole week is Random Acts of Kindness Week. And it'll be a time for our families to come and engage. We'll have a musical performance, and there'll be crafts and activities and treats. So I do invite you to come and mingle with all of our elementary students and their families and their teachers as well. Thank you.
So, in addition, just another thank you. Thank you from Gaines Elementary as well. And there's a little tumbler in there to keep your coffee warm, because these days we need a little extra help keeping coffee warm. So thank you again for the hours that you put in.
Thank you. I guess so. And thank you, elementary principals. Middle school. Whoops, never mind, just hold on. I gotta wait for the video. Now middle school. I'm sorry on the previous one. Great job on the video, ladies.
Esteemed members of the board, thank you for letting me present our gift to you today. I'm R.J. Kaplan. I'm the principal of the middle school. It was important to our middle school staff, our teachers, our students, myself, that we present a gift to you that would maybe go beyond just gratitude and saying thank you, but something that could go into, back into our kids' hands, our kids' futures. So the staff and students and the employees, parents, and even community members, they all donated some money and they put it into a scholarship name in your honor, okay? That scholarship is not just any ordinary scholarship. It's the Mary Rock Memorial Scholarship. Mary Rock was a daughter, she was a wife, she was a colleague, she was a mentor, she was a coach, she was a friend, she was a mother to more than 1,000 dragons that have come across her life that she taught. She was a very kind woman, and she had quite a spark in her too. Travis, if you go to the next slide. She was also known for her passion in education and her unwavering belief that every person could just add a little something, right? Everyone had value, right? There's potential in everyone. So when we presented this to our students, and I'll forward this slide to you, but there's a little video link, and Mary loved hummingbirds, and in this video, it shows a hummingbird taking a drop of water and flying through this forest to try to put this fire out, right? And everyone's kind of laughing at this hummingbird because it's pointless to try this. But then the rest of the community gets involved, and next thing you know, one little small gesture can change everything. So I'll share this with you, but we asked our students to think about making one small donation to this. We had students bring in pop cans. We had one student bring in a lottery ticket. I don't know how they got that. It was a scratch off. I did it before, but it was only $1. But this scholarship, this service activity that we asked them to take on their shoulders was a collective effort to just kind of help us ensure that Mary's impact would continue. The scholarship goes to graduating seniors from our high school to pursue their future dreams, whether it be in college or post-high school work. So we're really giving it as a gift in your name back to our students in Mary's name. So we have a saying at our school, #LoveLikeMary. I know I miss her, and I think if she was here today, well, you would hear her voice, I am sure, and how she advocates for young people and our teachers. And you would also see a woman, and how one woman could actually rally a group of people behind her to just bring about change and help us all move in the same direction. So we're excited to present to you this scholarship in your honor to our students in her name. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, it's kind of hard to follow that. I worked with Mary many, many years at the middle school, so. I'm Amy Hart, the assistant principal at the high school. I want to start by saying good evening, and our other administrators would also like to be here, but we do have Find Your Future Night over at the high school, so they send their appreciation as well. In recognition of Board Appreciation Month, I wanted to take a moment to share a small but meaningful way our high school wanted to say thank you for your service and commitment to our students, staff, and community. In front of you, you have a gift of Creekopoly. And then about another part of that I'll be talking about in a minute. But you have each selected a book that is the personal meaning or has helped shape your leadership. Those 7 books are now part of our high school media center, and they are available for students to check out with your name and recommendation displayed so students can see the connection between learning, leadership, and the people who serve them. Once the Media Center bond renovations are fully complete, this display will have a permanent home inside the Media Center. In the meantime, we've created a showcase just outside the Media Center doors so that students and staff can engage with it and learn more about the board members who serve them. With what you have in front of you is a poster that will be hung as part of the display. We've also made a copy for each of you to keep as a small token of our appreciation. And this project was intentional. It reflects the belief that leadership matters, that reading matters, and that students benefit from seeing the human side of those who make the decisions on their behalf. On behalf of the students, staff, and administration, thank you for your time, your dedication, and continued support to our schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
NVLC.
All right. Hello. Kelly Robertson here, director from the VLC. I just want to take a moment to say thank you for the time and energy that you put into serving our community here at Swartz Creek. I have never been on a board, like not even a diving board, but I would assume it's not glamorous and it's not always easy, and it certainly doesn't come with enough thank yous. So tonight, consider this one very intentional. At the VLC, our staff works incredibly hard to make sure our students leave us with as many skills as possible, not just academically, but as people. We focus on ELA and math and all the other graduation goals, but we also focus on character, confidence, and real-life skills that matter when students walk out of our doors. This year alone, our students have learned how to play euchre, which is a life skill, chess, how to tie a tie, write in cursive, and even fill out a check, which is apparently more prepared for adulthood than I was at 18. This week, we had the Graphics Kings, a custom vinyl business, visit the VLC to teach students about graphic design and, maybe most impressively, how to properly use an iron, okay? And then our students pressed and ironed, hold on one second, these shirts, and then they have their newly practiced signatures on the back. So what you're receiving tonight isn't just a shirt, it's a snapshot of who our students are. Hardworking, creative, proud, and growing. We hope you wear these with pride, knowing they represent the heart of the VLC and impact your leadership has on our kids. Thank you again for everything that you do for our students, our staff, and our community. We truly appreciate you, and yes, the shirts are washable. Turn them inside out, hang dry.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you muchly.
Thank you.
And I'd also like to thank the board. I understand of all the work that you put in the years that I've dealt with boards of education for all the last 20-plus years of my career. I know the amount of time. I've only been here 3 weeks at this point, but I've also seen where you're here on many occasions. I have to call you on many occasions, interrupt your day, ask you some important questions and things of that nature. And I know the importance of what you do and that you're thinking of our children all the time and what's best for our children in this district. So,
Thank you, Wayne.
so we can move on from there. So
Yeah.
Mr. Melky, you can take it back over.
Thank you. And I want to thank everybody from the VLC at the bottom, the little ones, all the way up to the high school and everybody in between. Thank you from myself and the board. I just want to give you guys a round of applause. I think it's very nice you guys to do that. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. So, with that being said, we'll get down to our normal business. Anybody wants to excuse themselves, they can. It's all the boring stuff now. We'll get right into our first order of business. Will be public comment, agenda specific, and you can see the agenda items down here underneath number 12, board action items. So please be specific to those, please, ladies and gentlemen. If anybody would like to come up, please state your name, and you have 3 minutes. And Jenny, would you run the timer if anybody would like to talk?
I'll talk, because it wouldn't be a board meeting without me. Brian Jones, community resident. There's a couple things. I went over the December 10th meeting. One of the agenda items for tonight is discussing extra security. Address the board president. One of the items is extra security for the elementary schools. I guess my first question would be, you said there's no problem. Why do we need this? We have 3 officers now. Why are we going to security rather than adding more SROs? Who would these people report to? Would they report to you? Because I don't know that I want armed men in the schools that report to you.
Mr. Jones, it's not on an agenda item.
It was on, are you, all right.
Yeah, it's not on a board action item today, sir, so if you'd like, you could do it underneath open comment at the end of the meeting, but it's really agenda items at the beginning, sir.
It was on the agenda a couple days ago.
It's under discussion, yeah, it's not on the agenda items. You can go ahead, I don't mind.
Oh, no, I like to follow the rules, because that's how we do around here, right? Oh, you did get my comments about your preliminary minutes, right? And I will give credit where credit is due, that Ms. Henry here did call out properly that had you been following the Open Meetings Act, you would have publicized a child's information. So good job on catching that. Not so good job on not knowing what you're doing. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Thank you, sir.
Chuck, can you clarify what items can they talk about then? If that's 11A, what items specifically can they talk about that are on the agenda?
Items 12,
I
that
guess-
would be A, B, yeah, I think A through F, Andrea.
So only our board action items are the only agenda items they can talk about?
That's agenda items, yes. Unless you guys want to change it, I don't mind. It's up to you guys.
I thought anything on this whole agenda was acceptable to talk about.
Any further discussion from the public? None? Okay. We'll go into our consent agenda. You guys want to read that? And let me potentially make a motion.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
There's been a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Support.
Any discussion? No discussion? Sue, please do roll call vote.
Jenny Walgast? Yes. Ken Engel?
Yes.
Kim Winter?
Yes.
Autumn Henry?
Yes.
Andrea Fick?
Yes.
Carrie Germain?
Yes.
Chuck Melkey?
Yes.
7 yes.
Motion passes. Next thing will be interim superintendent's report.
Last week, Mrs. Paul, Mr. Simonson, and myself went to the 5 elementary buildings and provided the buildings with an update on the timelines of the community school building move that's going to take place next fall. We will continue to be looking to update the buildings as we move forward on this. Mr. Simonson did push out a survey to staff this week for the staff so that they could identify the positions that they prefer to be in, the buildings they would like to be in for next year, and hopefully to give us any feedback of any information that they think we need to be aware of, things that didn't go well last time around and so forth. And we just tried to make sure everybody was totally up to date, and we're looking for anything that they can come back with to us. There are some extra copies of a presentation that we did in this boardroom on Monday. They're over there on that table. We did a PowerPoint. Again, Mrs. Paul, Mr. Simonson, and myself were here for that presentation. And that evening, we did present to the community, try to give them an idea of the planning that has taken place and as we move forward for next year. The Genesee County Association of School Boards is having a meeting for the school board members. It's entitled Guiding Public Schools for Increasing Academic Achievement on February the 19th, 2026. That meeting will be held at 5:30 at the Edwin L. Davis Center. If board members are interested in going, here's a flyer for it. If you're interested in going, please get with Mrs. Gould down here and let her know that so that she can reserve a spot. There's going to be a supper or a meal at 5:30. If I have some board members go, I will join you there. I think it's important that I also join you and be part of that presentation with you. MASB is holding its Winter Institute on February 6th and 7th. That's a Friday and a Saturday, and there's going to be more than 20 instructors leading classes on different subjects. Again, this is going to be a virtual type piece, And so if individuals are interested in signing up for any of these virtual classes, please get with Mrs. Gould, and she will get a hold of MASB, get you signed up, get you the proper credentials that you need to get into the program. Finally, the MASB Board of Directors election is being held in February. We're in Region 5, and more than one individual has applied to be on the board of MASB. So in the month of February, the board will be receiving one ballot, which you'll have to make a decision here at a board meeting on who on that ballot you would like to vote for and send it back into MASB. That ballot has to be received at MASB not later than March 11th. So next month, we vote on it, we get the vote, or get the ballot to Mrs. Gould, and she will make sure that it gets to MASB. Any questions, board, for me? Thank you. That concludes my presentation.
Any questions of the superintendent?
Yeah, the thing over at GISD, it will be doing superintendent interviews that night.
Oh, is that the night you doing it? Okay. Well, that'll be more important.
Any other questions to the superintendent? Okay, we'll go on to student board rep. Desi, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you all are having a great night. This board report will kind of be short and sweet and kind of be a repeat from my last one. But snow coming is this Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. in the high school gym. Spirit Week got a little messed up with this week due to the 2 snow days and delay in 6th and 7th hour exams. But Monday would have been Long Winter's Nap. I got messed up a little bit there. Monday was Long Winter's Nap, PJ Day, and then Tuesday was Blizzard Besties. Today was Flannel versus Puffer. Tomorrow is Blue or White, and Friday is Creek Out. With that being said, our first semester came to an end yesterday, and everyone should have been able to see their grades as of today. Second semester began today, and students are starting to get settled into their classes. February 1st is the boys varsity game against Lake Fenton at 9 p.m. after the Piston game at the Little Caesars Arena. And after school detention and study tables started back up from 2:30 to 3:30 for high schoolers. And the high school play is February 5th, 6th, and 7th, and the name of that is Noises Off. Also, the middle school started Tier 2 interventions to help kids learn what they have lost within the first half of the year. They got the Read 180 grant curriculum to help Tier 2 kids. They also started Tier 3 interventions helping kids with phonics, and they also used the Read 180 grant for Tier 3 interventions as well. And the last thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to say thank you to the board for allowing me to be up here and give my reports. I also wanted to thank them for their wisdom and doing their best for the students in this district. And that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you.
Thank you, Desi. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. We'll go on to the informational items, employment of non-certified staff.
We have 3 new employees that are in the non-certified hire category. I'm going to read their names and positions and so forth. First one is Mercedes Strickler, cashier server at Gaines. Her effective date was January the 8th of 2026. The second one is Haley Shipley, a cashier server in the middle school. Effective date was January 12th, 2026. And the third one is Madeline Brookhart, educational aide in Moorish, on effective date is February 2nd, 2026.
Thank you, Wayne. Just one quick question, and you may not know this answer. Are we up to snuff on all our educational aides? I know that beforehand we were going to hire some extra, and I don't know if we did that.
I don't know if we've hired any extras or not. I don't know of any postings that we have at the current time.
Okay.
Although there may be some.
Yeah, because I think that Kim had talked to the former superintendent about hiring 3 or 4, and I don't know if that was ever achieved.
I think we were, one of the principals left, I think there was one that was gonna be hired, but then she got another job, and then I think we're short still 2, maybe?
Okay.
We hired, I believe, all of those positions at one point. I also think that some of those individuals have either moved up into other jobs or left too, but we do have, I believe, all but maybe one of them filled right now at the moment.
Okay. Great. All right, thank you, Dave. Thank you, Wayne. Yeah.
I do
Okay.
have a question on the resignations. It looks like Megan, the athletic trainer, resigned. Do we have someone in mind to fill that slot?
A job is posted. It's very hard to fill. It was hard to fill when we first started, so.
I know.
It may be a discussion that Mr. Wright brings to you in the future. Right now, it's posted, and we'll see what we can do.
Yikes.
Just a quick question on that, Dave. Was that the lady that left and then came back?
Well, she went on maternity leave.
Well, sick leave or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Maternity.
And then,
But it's very hard.
Yeah.
Now you have to have a master's degree for that position, so it's very
Yeah,
hard.
yeah,
It is.
she took a job elsewhere now, and they are paying quite a bit more. It's a lot closer to home, so.
okay.
Yep.
Thank
gotta
you.
look
I just didn't know if that was the
at-
same lady from about 9 months ago. We talked about 8 months. Thank you.
Yep.
So, just so y'all know, like, that is a required position at sporting events. So I know we really struggled last year when she was out on maternity leave, getting people at games. They have a pool that they can bring people in, like, substitute teachers, I forget what they call it, but basically a pool for that as
There
well.
normally is not.
But there's holding
As an
to do
AD, I did a lot of things looking for those athletic trainers and so forth. That's a
Yeah.
very difficult position to fill. Sometimes you look at different organizations to see if they have some within, and you go from there.
So, yeah, Wayne, you look at maybe pay and compare.
I don't know if
other
it's pay, it's a lot of times, it's not so much pay, it's I'm an individual that's qualified, that's not in a position already. It's just like teaching, teaching positions has been scarce for the last few years.
All right.
I'll look into that.
Spread the word.
I'll look into that because that's the first I've heard of this, okay?
Thank you.
Question, is the master's degree a Michigan requirement?
I don't know, but I know
Or did
they.
we do that?
We did not do that. Well, yes, it's not us.
Okay,
I don't know if it's Michigan or federal, but it's not in Swartz Creek.
Okay.
Probably the state, yeah.
okay.
If I'm not mistaken, we'd hire a company to contract with, and they got us by, so we were in compliance with the law, right, Dave? Didn't we hire a company last year to do that?
We had a combination of a company for a minute, and also Mr. Kish is a certified athletic trainer. He's one of our middle school teachers, and he offered to step in during the interim when we didn't have a company. But we are having trouble even with the third-party companies now. They're booked with others and don't have capacity, so we're working on it.
Okay, so we'll stay in compliance one way or the other. If Mr. Kish does it or you get the
I
company.
have a question about that. Do you know if the folks that have a certification, like Mr. Kish, if they're grandfathered into this requirement, or having another master's might be adequate?
Oh, I believe athletic trainer, that designation is a master's degree.
Okay.
That is, it's a master's level certification that you can't get without the master's degree. I don't know that there's I have to check and see if there's a master's degree requirement. I believe that in order to become an athletic trainer, all of that coursework is a master's degree.
That's one of the things I will find out, board, and get back to you with.
But
I'll
it's-
put it on my weekly notes.
We think it's specific to being a trainer. It's not having a master's period. Okay. Yeah.
And last question on that, or maybe hopefully the last, but is to fill the position, can we offer Mr. Kish a decent stipend to fill the position during this time? I mean, we're going to pay somebody.
I'll get with Mr. Simonson, and we'll see what we can do, see if that's a possibility.
Thanks.
Okay, board subcommittee reports. We'll start out with Carrie Germain on academic achievement.
Thank you. All right, we met on the 12th Jenny Wolgast and Michelle Paul and I were there. We discussed the academic data for Swartz Creek High School NWEA, the Winter Achievement and Growth. Michelle presented the high school math being at 55th percentile for achievement, and high school reading is at 63rd percentile for achievement, and overall growth near the 50th percentile. And the principals and instructional coaches are going to have been invited to present at the NWEA conference that's coming up. The district was invited due to the district's success in piloting and implementing NWEA math growth and NWEA reading fluency this year. So that's quite an accomplishment for our folks. They're to be congratulated for that. The University of New Mexico summer program, Data Science for Everyone, seeks K-12 teams from districts. Twin Kaiser is recruiting teachers and a possible principal to go to that particular program, and they do accept teams that will receive funding for registration, travel, airfare, and hotel. The preference is given to teams that come from the same school, and the district has made a commitment, if they are accepted, to cover food as well, because they're not sure that that's covered through the grant. The K-5 Literacy Framework, which is the Literacy Learning Network, the LLN, which is much easier to say. Michelle shared the literacy framework highlighting the essential components, Tier 1 foundational skills, phonological awareness and phonics, encoding and decoding, also Tier 1 writing, Tier 1 whole class reading instruction, Tier 1 small group differentiated reading instruction, and then Tier 2 and Tier 3 interventions. The grant-funded LLN has provided us a coach whose name is Vicky, and the guidance for K-5 literacy framework. And the principals have been meeting one-on-one with the coach to develop principals as literacy leaders. Do we have any principals that might be in there? Not yet? Okay. Elementary principals and coaches used the LLN materials to define the essential literacy components for early 5s through to 5th grade. And the framework is program neutral and aligns with the science of reading and our new literacy law in Michigan. And then the new program, I believe, is purchased with 35M grant funds. Is that correct, Mr. Wright? 35M?
There's so many.
There are.
Alphabet soup in 35.
There are, and so I didn't know if Michelle would be here this evening, so if that's not correct, we will correct that, but I think it's 35M grant funds, and you're right, there are just so many of those, and that's a good thing. The principals returned the framework to the buildings, collected teacher feedback and buy-in, and the next step is to define tight literacy, K-5, rolling out a tight, which is required, or loose supplemental framework with LLN coachings, with the goal of finalizing and sharing with the staff by the end of February. There's a lot of work going on behind the scenes, as all of you know who are in the buildings. I'm getting a lot of head nodding here from the folks, and I know, Jeremy, you're involved with that every day, so thank you for that. So we'll hear more about that. The master scheduling is a priority that they're focusing on. I've talked about that before. I am not the expert, obviously. I am relaying the messaging coming from the staff. And then professional development, I already mentioned. Action items. Michelle is going to bring the K-8 NWEA data to our February board meeting. So I'm looking forward to that. And then she has agreed to create a board-friendly graph or graphs of the NWEA data, K-12, and give us a short presentation in February. And then the high school principal will also be bringing us a high school course catalog that has to be approved in February in order us to stay on track. There were no public comments, and everybody thanked Michelle for her presentation, and that was it. Any questions? You'll be hearing lots more about that.
Yeah, I have a question. Do you guys
Do you discuss curriculum at academic achievement? Carrie?
Do we discuss curriculum?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just don't know.
generally speaking, that's the focus of the meeting, is where we are in terms of curriculum being implemented, any impact it's having, any coaching that might be going on, any discussions with staff, how is it going, whether something's in pilot going forward.
Okay. Do you know when that would be brought to us to approve a curriculum? It's one of our board duties.
We've been looking at new curriculum for the last year.
Policy 2101, it says that we have to establish the curriculum. So I know that it hasn't been voted on since I've been here, and I think even before, for many years. So I just want to get a heads up on when that might be brought to us.
So if you go back through our academic
adopt that.
achievement notes over the last year, 2 years, 3 years, and you can read through there when they have been identifying pilots, identifying.
But that's not what I'm asking. When does the board approve it?
It's brought to us if there's a purchase that goes along with it, an implementation of it.
Okay, but when do we approve the curriculum?
Jeremy, I hate to call on you, I'm so sorry. But so I'm going to use reading as an example, unless you're more comfortable with math. No, that's all right. I know math, Twin's not here. But can you talk a minute about the timeline that you're familiar with? Because I know you've been in coaching over the last year or so.
Yeah. So with curriculum in that, like we just purchased curriculum through Collaborative Classroom, Being a Reader and Being a Writer programs. So that was approved, I believe, over the summer because we got the grant to pay for that. So it was brought to the board for voting on that. At the elementary, we're also doing bridges and moving into number corners, so that kind of curriculum. Is there a specific type of curriculum you're wondering about, or is it like a subject area?
It was more so just knowing the difference between approving the spending of money to support a curriculum, but I just don't know how we can, and I'm not against it by any means, but how we keep approving money to be spent on curriculum that we haven't adopted.
Yeah, I think, so when it comes, the curriculum is based on, state standards and things like that. So that's what we, go through with that. With the new reading laws that are getting passed in Michigan, there was approved curriculum at the state level that could fit the laws of the requirements to meet for science of reading. And so we picked a program from that made sure we were in compliance, but yeah.
But we would still have to approve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think we're missing that step, and I just want to make sure that.
I think the board did vote to approve that curriculum. I'm not sure if there was if there's an opportunity to dig deeper into it or that. But again, right now you can come see the curriculum in action anytime, definitely. Just let me know at the elementaries and I'd be happy to show you kind of what we're doing with that kind of stuff. So I think when a program is presented to the board for approval, that would be purchasing the curriculum to teach whatever subject area.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's where I think we're just doing it a little backwards, where we would approve that once we've adopted or approved the curriculum, and that would be the support piece that, we agree to fund and all that good stuff.
Okay.
So it's not that, it's just, a breakdown of approving the actual curriculum itself, I guess, is where I'm struggling.
When I've done that in previous districts, what we've done is when we approve those purchases, we're approving the curriculum at the same time. It's usually a duplicate, same time.
I don't think ours are reading like that. Yeah,
Okay.
but I appreciate it. I just want to make sure that we're getting that portion done and we're compliant with our policies and duties.
Is there any more discussion on it?
No, I'm with Wayne. I thought when we approved the purchase, we were approving the curriculum at the same time.
I know it's a little confusing. I thought at the beginning of the year, usually you do your curriculum, and then you buy programs to support your curriculum. I think that's the confusion with some people, but
Yeah,
That's it. I'm confused by it sometimes.
Well, Michelle does come to the academic achievement meetings, and she'll usually give us a presentation, and then we vote on it at the next meeting. So she does I gotta say, she does a really good job of giving these presentations. She gives a lot of detail. So she does, so we do have some idea what we're buying.
And as we have our academic achievement meetings, which I would encourage people to attend, there's a progressive information sharing that goes on, especially if they're doing some kind of research or pilot program or looking at the grants that would fund it. And so if you listen to that at the meetings and then you listen to the reports and the presentations here, you get a sense of the progressiveness. And then there's eventually, if there's required, a purchase that goes along with that, of that curriculum and any kind of supplemental materials.
Can I ask a favor, Wayne?
Yep.
Between now and our next meetings, maybe we're potato in this. What I think Autumn is saying, and I think if we go back and read our board minutes, we're not approving the curriculum itself, we're approving the purchase of the curriculum. And I think if we go back and read our board minutes, if they're being done simultaneously, I don't think that's the way they read. And I could be mistaken, and maybe they're different from year to year or time to time, but I think if we pull some board minutes, say 5 different purchases or 5 different approvals, if you can find them, I don't think we ever approve. For instance, we approved the hiring of you, and then we came back and we approved the financial end of you. So we had 2 different votes. Both of them were you. One was hiring you, the other one was, for lack of better words, purchasing you. That, I think, is the separation here, is we're approving the purchase, but I don't think we've ever approved the curriculum itself.
Yeah, and that's where I want to make sure that what we are purchasing supports what we approved, kind of, and not vice versa, not approving the purchase amount could change every time because there's nothing that it has to follow. You could say we need this, but.
I'm not telling anyone they
Yeah.
can't comment any further, but let's pull 4 or 5 of those, either purchases or approval out of the minutes. And, we don't need them for the last 20 years, but if we can get them and see, are we misunderstanding it? Or does there need to be 2 separate votes? Or can it all be put in one line when we vote? Or is it being put in one line when we vote? Right now, we're all debating something we don't have in front of us.
Okay.
So,
I'll check into that.
all right, thanks.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to, treasurer's report, but I believe that, I don't remember who wrote the treasurer's report, I believe that.
So I typed it up. I don't know if you want me, do you want me to read it off, Ken?
Since I messed up and didn't get to the meeting on time, Jenny was kind enough to do this for me. Thank you, Jenny.
So we were running very quickly on that day. So we met on January 20th. Our scheduled meeting time for this, or the scheduled start time was 3 o'clock, but we actually started at 2:42. Chuck called us to order. So we had some financial updates. Jamie shared that she's working on the first revision of the budget. She's added some stipend entries. It was kind of covering what she anticipated for Wade for his salary, for some of the other superintendent search expenses, and just some other miscellaneous expenses. The food service fund has a balance of, I apologize, I'm going to read these numbers wrong, I'm sure, at one point, so I'll do my best. $883,000 on December 31st of 2025. The best practice is to have about 10% or 3 months of reserve, and we are very comfortable within that. We've moved some funds from the general fund to PIF for the plow truck purchase and the bus purchases. And we are still looking into possibly doing more with elementary school security. We also spoke about the grants. There were 2 grants. One is the 27L2, and they have spoken with the SCEA about what to do with those funds, and they have agreed that they want to split the funds with all eligible employees. They're still getting clarification on the rules on who can receive those funds, and to just kind of get an idea of what other districts are doing in the area. And so that's going to go to teachers, staff, and some other individuals. And the value of that is approximately $503,000. There's another grant, 27L4, and that one is funds to the district to offset a 3% paid for benefits last year that was kind of unexpected. That's worth approximately $327,000. Other items on the agenda, the state legislators met on January 16th. The school aid fund is doing okay. However, the general fund is losing money due to some, I think they said it was like corporate income tax. So they may end up reallocating some funds away from the school aid fund. So we'll just have to watch that. Current per pupil amount may go from $10,050 to $10,500. Mary Krapos was in need of some equipment for the concession area. We have a quote for approximately $11,000 that will come from EIF, and I believe that might be one of our items, I'm not sure. Maybe not. We also discussed the bids for the asbestos work. There were some issues where some of the bidders we just have some concerns about, so we weren't necessarily going to be able to go with the absolute lowest bidder on that. We discussed the technology request. Travis is expecting some upcoming increases in cost for the equipment, so things that we normally would have ordered a little bit later, we're ordering sooner to kind of save some money, so we appreciate his diligence there. And so public comment, Travis recommended that the K-5 principals be invited. I guess there's going to be some like how to pack and other kind of training sessions that are scheduled for the middle school and high school staff, since we know they're going to be doing some moving over the summer. And so he suggested that the K-5 principals might be able to get some good information from those sessions. Committee comments, Ken just requested that the K-5 principals participate in the playground walkthroughs to evaluate the equipment and the suitability and needs, just to make sure that they're on board and can provide their insight. So tonight we're going to have approval of the middle school, high school asbestos bid package and the bond technology order. And so the meeting was adjourned at 3:37. Any questions?
No questions to Jenny? Okay, now start the bond.
Okay, bond committee started at 2:06. We received an update from AUK. They're starting to look at some of the furniture for the high school and the middle school. They are scheduling some planning meetings with the high school and middle school staff to prepare for the move. And the design work for the 2027 projects is starting. It's a short meeting, no public comment. Wayne had asked about the project plan, just to kind of see what all was going into the bond. And Jamie says that that's going to be posted to the bond area of the website. No action items tonight, and we adjourned at 2:11 p.m.
Thank you. Any questions of the bond report? Building and site. Building and site started at 2:11 p.m. on January 20th, 2026 at the admin building, conference office. Myself as president, Dave Simonson, was in and out. Carrie was there, Carrie remained, Bill Lower, Wayne Wright, Jamie Cohen, Jamie Walgas, Travis Smith, City from Mock, and Suzanne from French, Shelley Thompson from the Public, and Ken came in, like I said, just a little bit later. Very great welcome date, everything's done finally, so there'll be no more reports on that except for the kitchen equipment. Jenny mentioned that. The kitchen equipment, and we're going to budget about $10,000 to $12,000 in there for warmers and things for hot dogs and pizzas, so when they do open it up, there'll be food available. Operations update, the gym floors were resealed in the middle and high school. This was done over the Christmas break. Also, the 4 softball dugout roofs were replaced. They took the shingles off, they removed all the bad wood, they replaced the wood, and they now put on steel shingles. Bill was able to get us a deal, and it was about $7,500 for all those. and they were at the middle school. The Johnson Control Unit has been reconfigured at the high school. So the building management system, what would happen is some of the heaters would shut down and everything was tied to one unit, including the boiler. So Bill was able to split that off, which will be able to run more independently with all the heating units, and it allows it to be safely bypassed to ensure boilers can remain on even when heating is shut down to a lower level and not shutting the boiler off altogether. This will reduce maintenance and any failures. 3 AEDs have been replaced this week. That only leaves 3 more AEDs replacing the whole district. Bill plans on doing that in the next several months. Should be done by midsummer. The property survey is about finished up on the LDLC property line, so we'll know that in the next month or two and be able to resurface that in the spring. One rooftop unit failed over the STEM wing at the middle school. Train is going to warranty the upgrade computer board system, and it will be fixed, I believe it was fixed that day or the next day. Electrical upgrades are being tested at Gaines Elementary. They figure they're going to need 2 50-amp services and 1 20-amp service to revamp the kitchen so it's up to code, although that hasn't been completely done yet, but that's what he anticipates to be. They'll take the money from the food service group. To piggyback on Jenny's remarks, the bids were in for the asbestos removal. There was 3 or 4 different bids. We'll talk about that when that comes up later in the board action items or board agenda items. And then Bill said that he exhausted the 12K grant by buying, or the filter grant by spending $12,000 more. He's loaded up on filters, more bottle retro kits, and this should last 2 years, so there won't be any money spent on that. Public comment, there was none. We discussed concerns about the security personnel still. Dave reported that he has garnered at least 3 or 4 bids, I'm sorry. And then we talked about the litigation on the middle school parking lot. There's some litigation still of about $100,000 that is back and forth between the old general manager, the engineer, the person that laid down the lot, and of course the school's involved. We adjourned the meeting at 2:44 p.m. and the next meeting will be February 17th, 2026. Any questions of the building report?
I have a quick question. The extra security, we're getting bids. Are we getting bids like for Metro to bring someone in? Or is it going to be like our SROs, or are we looking at something else?
We were looking at private company to do it or hire our own security guards in-house. Jamie Cohen was doing a summary for us, and Dave can correct me if I'm wrong, about exactly what it'll cost, and it was a model off of Davison's school system because they've hired their own security personnel to put in some of their buildings along with SROs. And, but I don't know the bids yet or any of that. I know that they've been all forwarded to Dave, and I don't even know if they're completed yet or not. What's that?
They're on my desk.
Oh, they are, okay. Yeah, so they're not even, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other subcommittee reports, policy and procedures? I don't think we had any on that, correct?
Yeah.
No.
We do have the new policy stuff forward, so we can start doing committees on that. And we should have a policy committee as we're going to review the athletic handbook and changes.
Okay. And
in February.
so you're going to do that, and then Neola's going to be starting to be instituted towards when? May, June, July?
We're ready to start looking at the different sets of policies as we go through.
Okay, thank you, Wayne. Okay, superintendent search process, board discussion items. Carrie, you can go ahead and take that. I know you've worked on it.
Yeah, I can give a summary of what's coming up. The deadline for candidate applications was January 18th. It was moved from December to January. And we received 31 applications, with 17 coming from Michigan folks and 14 from out of state. This coming Monday, we have a very important meeting, February 2nd, here at 5 p.m. The candidate presentation We will have dinner. Sue, thank you so much for arranging that. If you can get back to Sue on what your choice is for dinner, she sent out a menu today. Our search consultants from Ray and Associates will be here in person, so you will get to meet both of them for the first time. I've talked to them a lot, but I'm looking forward to meeting them in person, other than Sheila. I've actually met her once. We will begin an open session, and then, as required, we'll go into closed session to finalize the interview questions and the procedures with the board, and they will present the top candidates to the board. And they'll share the candidate videos that we have received, and they'll help us in identifying the finalists for the interviews. We'll come back to open session to vote on the candidates for the interviews, and they will be assigned generic identifiers, not names, or we have to protect their candidate identity. And then everyone will be asked to return the information that they review to the Ray and Associates, so that's further protecting the candidate identity. On the 18th, Wednesday of February, and on Thursday, the 19th, which conflicts with that other meeting that we were talking about, at 5 o'clock, we will have the first round of interviews. So it'll be split between Wednesday and Thursday, different people each day. We'll conduct the virtual interviews, so they'll be virtual, and it will not be live streamed. The public is welcome to attend, watch the virtual interviews from the boardroom, and then those recordings will be posted on the district website that the 19th. Is that right, Travis? Yes, good. We have to make sure that Travis can accommodate it from a recording and streaming standpoint on all of these. On the 24th of February, from 5:30 to 6:15, again in this room, we will have folks come and meet and greet the candidates that we're going to interview. And then at 6:30, there will be a community forum. And so look for details related to that. The events will be held here again in the boardroom. We chose the boardroom, the Performing Arts Center lobby was taken, so we're going to do it all here. And is that right, Sue? So that was our solution. And then there'll be an opportunity for the folks to provide feedback through QR codes that are provided, and these will also be published through social media, I believe, from Michelle Corbett. Don't hold me to that, but I think that's the plan, is to provide that as well. And so the RSVP is being asked of the public who want to participate, because we can only put 165-ish? 140 people in this room. So we would like folks to RSVP. It's a pretty simple process. You just go out to a link, and Michelle will be sharing that repeatedly with folks. And I believe it was sent out to the community emails, right?
Yeah, they can also just call the office
Okay.
and let us know.
Yes, Sue is looking forward to lots of phone calls. And then on the 25th of February is our second round of interviews. And that will again take place here in the boardroom. Public is welcome to attend, and that will be live streamed. I'm going to ask Travis, yes, that's correct. That will be live streamed at that point, I believe. And on our YouTube channel. And after that evening, we should be able to select our new superintendent. So I know that's a lot, but I want to thank Sue. She has done an amazing job behind the scenes, organizing all of this, and Travis for making sure that we'll be able to share this with people and that people will be able to interact and communicate. And to Michelle Corbett, she has created a lot of communications and will continue to do that and push that out on social media so that people have an opportunity to come and listen. And I know, you guys might have, the folks from SCEA might have some questions too, and happy to answer any questions you might have, as well as others. It's a lot. But for everybody on the board, get Sue your your menu selections for Monday night, and then we'll be here on Monday evening at 5 o'clock.
How many candidates are they bringing us, Carrie, on February 2nd?
We have 31 applications, but they will have also taken the applications and looked at what we as a board identified as our ideal candidates.
And what are we supposed to, I'm trying to get to those numbers. And then what do we whittle it down to on the first, I mean, I've listened to her several times, but what do we whittle it down to on the first round? Is it 8 or 12, do you recall?
I think it was 6 to 8, but it also depends on the candidates that we have.
And then our third meeting, then that's when we'd be down to our 2 or 3 after we look at the 6 to 8, do our second round interviews.
Or however many is appropriate.
Okay. All right, I'm just trying to get this, 'cause those will be long nights for us, long days. Okay, thank you. Next, it will be Al Jory. I'll have you, I just want to ask the board some questions first. Has everybody had a chance to review that? Or would you just, I told Al we'd give him 5 or 6 minutes and,
I'll make it quick.
okay. Is there any objections? Has everybody read their packets? Al, come on up.
Yeah, if you would, my name's Al Jory, and I represent Bannicky Properties and the 2 property owners north of the Cage Field House, Betty Shannon and David Thompson. If I could ask you to open up the drawing on the second page of the packet. There was a big change on this from the last time I was here, and it's, if you'll notice, at the rear of the Cage Sports detention pond, your existing pond. Before, I had just a connecting pipe to that pond, but after talking with the County Drain Commission, they want somebody responsible for the maintenance of the pond and the 18-inch pipe that goes from your pond to the Smith drain. So they won't approve anything on this parcel, these 2 parcels for drainage, until somebody's responsible for the maintenance of that. So this proposal that I want to briefly go over with you, it puts the responsibility for the maintenance of that pond and the connecting pipe to the Smith drain on the future property owners of those 2 parcels north. This document, draft copy, stormwater management practices, this is the catch-all for the school district. This is something that has to be recorded after the project is complete and before there's any occupancy. The state of Michigan requires that each city has this 9-page document on file. So once the project is complete, we're back to the school board. If there's any damage to the asphalt, if there's any dirt that's not properly behind the curb, this is what you guys will be able to hold up occupancy if we haven't met everything that we've said in this. And the intent is to not to cost the school district anything. All the documentation, easements, legal description will be prepared by the developers and future owners of the 2 lots. The city, when I went to them to ask about the development of the property, they said they'd like to see it developed, but it doesn't have a storm drain outlet, and we're not going to allow any entrance onto that property that's not directly across from the Myers on the other side of the road, which is good planning, but then it puts it too close to the Cage Field House for proper traffic control and safety. So we would be asking on this drawing, I'm showing where we would close up the existing entrance, the original entrance you guys had there, and relocate the 4 parking spaces that would be removed on the north line. We'd relocate those 4 spaces over to where that existing entrance is. The second, let me see what I lose my, yeah, then underneath of that document, that again, when whatever building goes there, I don't have any specific use for it because I'm not really able to market it or take it to anybody now because it's undevelopable. But this I did find the drain. I can't remember if that was Mrs. Winter. Somebody questioned the easement that Betty Binder had to take connecting your pond to the drain. I did find a copy of it. I will try to look and see if it ever got assigned to the school district. That's something that I'm still up in the air on. Hopefully, Mr. Weber would be, if it's not assigned in the original documentation, whenever the school took control of that property, then we'd certainly have to get that addressed. Short of that, I don't, oh, and then the last one, this is more of a, should have said an example. I don't know that it does say example on it. This grant of easement back in 1997, I noticed that the school district had, it just mistakenly placed the drive that goes around the middle school, the west side of the middle school, on property. Half of it was on the property to the west that I had owned at one time and then sold to a friend of mine, Phil Bannicky. So we quickly resolved that. The then superintendent, Chuck Townsend, said, Al, if you're right, I'll order a survey. If you're right, I'll pay for the survey. If you're wrong, you pay for it. Well, when they set those stakes right down the middle of that drive, we drafted this easement and granted it to the school. There was no money consideration. And I'm hoping what I'm asking you guys eventually to get something in the positive on this drainage, and it's just a conceptual approval. It's all subject to the final review of the plans prints that would be approved by the Genesee County Drain Commission and the City of Swartz Creek for your final blessing. And with that, I hope to talk to you a little later tonight. Thank you.
Any discussion on this? Any suggestions?
I guess I have one question. So this is actually going to be, there's two separate parcels, right? So
Yes.
what happens if those are not sold to the same individual? How does the responsibility
Want me to address that, Jim?
of...
Yeah, go ahead, Al.
Yeah, we will immediately request that the school, we're going to do a combined legal description to combine those two parcels together in the documentation that's in that 9-page document. Every time they call it the owner is actually the owner of the two parcels that'll be combined. That every time it says the owner's responsible for this, the owner's responsible for that, that'll be in perpetuity to those people. If it's sold, the document, 9-page document says the property's sold, this document has to be presented at the closing and let the people know, should they buy that property in the future, they're responsible for the maintenance of the storm drain all the way to the Smith drain.
So in some way, these two parcels are going to be combined?
Yes.
They cannot be separated so that we can't run into an issue of one person saying, well,
Yeah, they're not, like the first parcel, by the time we come in with an entranceway there, it doesn't really lend itself, neither one of those people have wide enough road frontage to actually develop anything that's marketable. But put the two together, the guy to the north, Connor, his property is high enough. He can actually put whatever, they can drain out to the storm drain in the front. But these other two parcels all drain right to the west. And we want to catch that water and take it back to the drain.
my concern would be just if you're not able to find a developer that wants to purchase it and this, goes to like a homeowner that wants to, or somebody that wants to place a home on it, and then now all of a sudden, you're getting into who actually is responsible for what.
No,
I don't know how it's zoned or what would have to change, I don't know.
yeah.
I just want to make sure they're not going to.
Their master plan calls for it to all be one lot is commercially zoned now. The one to the north is residential, but it's just standard at the time the site plan approval, the zoning would change on that lot. But right now, they wouldn't let anybody build a house on it because it would be a downgrade to their master plan. So without some kind of cooperation here, I don't know what to do for the people. So Anything else?
Thank you. No. I say we
All right.
send it to the attorney and let them review it. But that's just a suggestion.
So I've already gotten a parent, kind of, I guess, a complaint concern. A lot of activities at the cage. Maybe this is somewhere we need to think about extra security, is that door's just open. You know, when the cheer parents are there, anyone can walk in. And they've had people just randomly walk in that really didn't have any business being there, even though it is probably kind of a fine line, right? So there was some concern about what kind of business might come in there, and then what kind of people are just gonna wander over the cage when you've got all of our kids there practicing. So, I don't know, it was just somebody brought up to me today.
What's the pleasure of the board?
I wouldn't mind seeing, at least one security person in there with all the kids there.
Is there any kind of access control system there now? Like a badge system or anything like that, or is it strictly just like a physical deadbolt on the front door?
Good point. I mean, there is an alarm, there's keys, but I don't know, I mean, I don't go there.
Right, yeah, I mean,
Quite some time.
I mean, if we implemented some kind of security access system so that the coaches had key cards or something like that, rather than.
But then I think they leave it
Yeah,
open
that's-
because
Pickleball, they
kids
open
are
it
coming
up,
in, yeah.
and they do like the
That's not the
community.
issue though at hand here. We're talking about this issue, and that's a separate issue, which,
Yeah, I would feel better knowing what was going next door. That's just my 2 cents.
okay. All right, we'll move on. Go ahead, Ken, I'm sorry.
I have multiple issues with it, with the fact that from zoning to the city's master plan to who's gonna buy it, to driveways. All we keep doing every time we have one of these presentations is we get, and this is not sarcasm at anybody, but we get, I don't know, well, maybe this is gonna happen. Well, if we can sell it, it's like the what if. And whoever owns this property, and I don't know these people, so I'm not trying to offend them either, but all of a sudden, their problem of having property that has been basically rendered useless is now becoming our problem. At some point in time, it's gonna cost the district money. We can talk about how they're gonna do this, how do that. Anybody at any time can sue anybody. And the day that we have a problem back there, and it's gonna be way before, when we're gone, definitely when I'm gone, but we're gonna have somebody possibly come out of the woodwork that is maybe the third owner of that building. You know, we don't think that's right, that we have to pay to keep up that pond. And even if they go to court and lose, we still have to represent ourselves there. This has nothing to do with education. It has nothing to do with our children, besides the fact that they might run next door and buy a burger. Maybe, because we don't know what's gonna go there. And so we're living in the what-if world, and, if it's such a great idea, then somebody ought to step up, throw out the money, and get it going to the point where they have the answers to us here. Yeah, I just, like I said, I'm not a naysayer, but again, we're here to educate and provide things for children. This has nothing to do with this. This is saving two people's hind end that bought property that's useless. Call it what it is.
Chuck, if I may, I still
Yes,
have
ma'am.
concerns about the parking lot and it being damaged after we just spent an inordinate amount of dollars fixing that, and it's wonderful. I also don't want to lose parking spaces because we waited a long time to be able to get additional parking spots. So those are two of my concerns.
Okay. Thanks for your discussion. Thank you, Al, for your presentation. Move on to security discussion, and I'll turn it over to Dave there. You had some bids, but the bids aren't here. They're on Wayne's desk. And we had just some brief discussion on it a couple months ago. And Does anybody have anything to discuss on it?
I have no question, Lori, thank you.
Dexter Security?
Yeah.
I'll just piggyback on what you said. Davison, for their elementary schools, has an excellent program. I know a couple of people that work there. The majority of them are all retired police officers. Same building year after year. One of your old co-workers is there, Van Warmer.
Yeah.
And has a blast in it. Left Clayton Township to go back to that program. He used to work there at Davison, and they did something different with it, I don't know what. And he came over to Clayton and worked, and now he went back to that. He dearly loves it. And so, and make it clear, we're not eliminating SROs, we're actually making it where the SROs can focus on the middle school and the high school and really not have to worry about catering or spending time at the elementaries. Is that basically what we're doing?
I think that's what we said a couple months ago when we brought it up, plus SROs are about 3 times the price, 2.5 times the price.
Right.
Yeah. and-
But it gives, the only thing these guys don't have is arrest powers.
If there's arrest problems with an elementary kid.
Right.
We got issues, and maybe angry parent may come.
did-
And I think it was gonna come from 31A money, correct, Dave? Or was it 32A money? I'm sorry, 31A? Yeah, 31 money, okay. And Jamie didn't give us a number on exactly what was in the piggy bank. She did a couple months ago, and it was close to $280,000 or $300,000. And Monday Township Metro is doing a great job, but I was on the interviews just a couple months ago, and they're having a hard time. We were waiting for several months to get a second officer and a third officer, and then the third officer had to be redeployed that we were going to hire because of staffing issues with that department. And so at the end of the day, nobody says that we need them, but I sure do want them in the elementaries if there's grant money available to put towards it, to put it in there. Now, if that money runs out someday, then we'll deal with it then. But in the meantime, I'd rather be proactive than reactive on it. And, yeah, that was it. So, I mean, it's still kind of not even an item that we can get to till we know the money and who we're going to use. And even if we did hire 4 or 5 retired officers, I don't even know where we'd get them anymore because that pool's
Shutting out.
yeah, it's shutting down. When I was hiring retired officers, it was pretty strong. But now, you know, Ken, being a new chief, it's hard to find a retired officer that'll come in and work.
I just think if we can pull it off, it's a great idea what they do at Davison. Like
Yeah,
I said,
I'm not opposed to
it. And what it really does is, the 2 officers that have the middle school and the high school, it should allow them to just focus there, because
Right.
I know from doing this at Linden, every time, and at one point in time, I did the 3 elementaries, the high school and the middle school, but anytime you left the high school, if you look at any data and anything else, the high school and the middle school are your 2 biggest threat locations, and that's where the officers should be.
Right.
I think it's beneficial to them as well. So, when we get the numbers, we can discuss it further, I guess.
I just, I would like to hire, not outsource to an agency if at all possible, if we can set a date to maybe find someone by, and if it's not met, then look into hiring an agency, but I wouldn't like to necessarily outsource that one and just keep them in-house.
I think this is,
Noted.
I'd just like to say, I thought this for several years, even when there was other superintendents here. I talked about having armed guards in the schools, and it was frowned upon, but it's not now. Apparently, it's not now. But we need somebody in each one of those elementary schools. They have to be there, because that's a deterrent to somebody who might want to come in there and, do some funny business.
Okay, we'll move it on. I'm sorry, Jane.
No, I was just gonna say, so I think part of the reason we were looking at like the agencies and just in the temp was because with the retired officers, they wouldn't necessarily need like retirement benefits. So, and then also like the 31 AA money, which we don't know how much we're getting because we don't know any of that stuff, that was not allowed, it seems like that was only, like, there's only certain.
Right,
things
one
you have to
division,
add on.
one division
It's already
was,
collecting benefits.
yeah, 31 AA money, I believe, was for certified police officers. 31A money
Okay.
was for, we
Okay.
could do different, and that
Okay.
was the issue with the money too, so.
Okay.
All right,
I was just, yeah, under the impression if they already were retired and collecting benefits, that maybe we could, negotiate there.
okay, board action items, adoption of Robert's Rules of Order, simplified version. This was postponed from 2 months ago. Everybody had an opportunity to go to the MASB's seminar. I think most of the board members went.
I did not, I was at the.
That's okay, most did, I said.
Yeah.
Most did, and it's up to the pleasure of the board what they want to do with it.
We need a motion, because I will make a motion to adopt Robert's Rules of Order simplified version.
There's a motion to adopt, or you want to so move it, is what they said, but
Yeah,
that's
or
okay.
move the motion.
Adoption of Robert's Rules of Order simplified version.
I'll second.
Been motioned by Autumn and seconded by Jenny, I'm sorry. Discussion on that motion. No discussion? Okay. Sue, roll call vote.
Autumn Henry,
Yes.
Kim Winter,
Yes.
Carrie Germain,
Yes.
Andrea Fick,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey.
Yes.
Jenny Walgast,
Yes.
Ken Engel.
Yes.
7 yes.
Okay, it's adopted. Sue's was kind enough to, the motion passes, I'm sorry. Sue was kind enough to put the cheat sheet out there for everybody, and if we need extra ones, we can. It'll take us a little while to be 100% compliant, but we'll start working towards it to get it there so we have some order. Okay? Approval of SCEA employment.
We have interviewed and brought forth Bandy Thomas for resource room special education instructor.
Okay, come on up, Derek. Please introduce your candidate.
All right. Good evening. I'd like to introduce for recommendation for hire Mandy Thomas, or let me rephrase, rehire. Like myself, Mandy was here before, has left and has chose to come back. So I'm very excited. Mandy was originally hired here as the preschool teacher over at Marion Crapo, so special education preschool teacher. Moved to an elementary resource room and then eventually became the elementary teacher consultant. I left and shortly after Mandy left, and now I feel great because I came back and now Mandy wants to come back. So I think she's following me. But so yeah, Mandy's been a great asset to Creek and would like to present her for your recommendation for hire.
Thank you. Few words?
Yeah, I've only been gone for like a year, so I've been keeping up. I have lots of good friends here. The staff here is amazing. So I've been really excited to see the changes that have happened this last school year at Creek. I am extremely hopeful about the return of K-5 elementaries. I've also realized while I've been gone, Source Creek has amazing systems and well-established programs that help support students. A lot of other school districts do not have that. So I'm very excited to come back to that. I also discovered that Creek's where my heart is. And so I'm excited to come back and be part of a great district.
Thank you, Mandy. Carrie has a question of you. I usually, she had the question, I always made the motion. I can't make the motion now as
Thank you.
board president, so.
So we may have asked you this before, but why did you choose Swartz Creek? What brings you here? Other than you were here before,
Yeah,
but.
I've
what
been
brings you?
here. I know what the district's about, and I just love the values and the mission and the heart of the district. And so I'm ready to come back for that.
Thank you. And I know how hard it is to find a special education teacher of your caliber, so thank you. Thank you for bringing her back. thank you for agreeing to come back. We appreciate it.
Is there a motion to hire Miss Mandy?
So moved.
Support? Anybody?
Support.
Been motion and supported. Any discussion?
Just
Sue, please, roll call vote.
Don't follow Bouchon.
I'm not leaving it. Yes. Jenny Walgest.
Yes.
Chuck Melkey.
Yes.
Autumn Henry.
Yes.
Andrea Fick. Yes. Ken Engel.
Yes.
Carrie Germain.
Yes,
Kim
absolutely.
Winter.
Yes.
7 yes.
Mandy, congratulations.
Thank
You're the
you.
first person in 7 years that hasn't been motioned by me. In 7 years, I've motioned every Tuesday.
Oh, that's, okay.
Well, that's the next one, Ken.
Congratulations.
Oh, I'm on the
Welcome
wrong
back.
one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the nurse.
The next
The
one.
nurse.
That's the next one.
Okay,
My bad.
next person.
All right.
So,
I'd like to recommend for your consideration Rebecca Frederick to hire as our district K-12 nurse. Rebecca was one of 32 applicants. I've never been so excited to see so many people apply for a job. Haven't had that many people in a long time, so that was great. We did a first-round interview, second-round interview, and Rebecca came through as the committee's #1 overall candidate, hands down. She has over 12 years of experience as a nurse, did some ER work at Genesis, recently has been the last 5 years as the school assistant nurse at Grand Blanc Schools. So we had to kind of work out a deal with Grand Blanc, hopefully as long as approving approval tonight of a transition time. But Rebecca, again, came through with just great remarks from her recommendations and what she's been doing over in Grand Blanc, and just really impressed the committee. So I'd like to entertain the thought of you hiring Rebecca Frederick.
Thank you, Derek. Rebecca, stand up. And
Yes.
Gary, I'll ask you one question or two.
Okay, perfect. I'm so excited to start in Creek, and if approved, and really just partner with you guys and the staff and the families to support student health and well-being throughout the district.
Thank you. There was 2 teachers at Grand Blanc said not to hire you. They didn't want to lose you. They heard that you were coming. I actually did. I got a call. When they said,
Oh, really?
I did. They said
I
that
love
you're
that.
stealing one of our nurses, and they spoke highly of you.
Oh, good, thank you.
Very highly.
I'm so excited. This
Yes.
is a good opportunity for, to be the lead nurse and
Yes.
take on that role, so I'm very excited.
Yes.
So I'll ask you the same question. What brings you to Swartz Creek?
Um,
And 32 applicants is pretty impressive. I don't know that I've heard that in a very long time, if ever, so.
School health is growing and very appealing to a lot of people. So, yeah, Creek, I like the small town feel of it. I've heard great things. I live in Grand Blanc, but I have lots of friends whose kids go here. So, yeah, I was excited when I saw that for the opportunity. It's a little
Thank
bit
you for
smaller.
choosing us. That's a little premature, we haven't voted yet.
Rebecca, that's very impressive, 32 applicants. And dragons are way cooler than bobcats.
Yeah.
I entertain a motion to hire Rebecca as our new school nurse.
So moved.
Motion to buy
Support.
Andrea and supported by Ken. Okay, any further discussion? I think we pretty much all made up our mind, but we have to go through the formalities,
Yeah.
so.
Thank you so
Sue?
much.
Ken Engel.
Yes.
Autumn Henry.
Yes.
Chuck Melkey.
Yes.
Andrea Fick. Yes. Jenny Walgest.
Yes.
Carrie Germain.
Yes.
Kim Winter.
yes.
7 yes.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Rebecca. Yes, ma'am.
Thanks.
Okay, I think we got 2 good hires. Thank you, guys. You're welcome to go, get home, get a good night's sleep.
Thank you.
Okay, do you have anybody else? Okay. Approval of bond instructional tech POs, and I'll ask Travis to come up. He explained this at the building and operations and at finance the other day. Thank you, Travis.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Normally, we would make big purchases like this after the new REMC contract comes along after March. Prices are definitely going up, but because the REMC contract is locked in for this remainder of the year, we're able to take advantage of the current locked-in pricing. So what I'm proposing is to use some of the bond instructional technology dollars to purchase teacher desktops, some teacher Chromebooks, and then 740 11-inch Chromebooks for the students. So I think, last year I thought this was okay pricing. Now it looks like great pricing. So this will conclude for our summer work and try to squeeze in all these for the K-5 model and evenly distribute them throughout the buildings. So any questions?
This would be bond money.
Bond dollars, yes.
And you're saving us how much by doing this a little early? You gave us a price in the...
Their estimated 20 to 30% increase, and especially over the 8 gigs. And now the CPUs are going to be not even probably attainable. So especially the Intel ones that we're purchasing tonight. So right now, it's basically what's in the country in stock, and then after that, it's kind of up in the air on what the next pricing will be. Currently, there's about 25,000 11 inches right now remaining, so we're jumping in at the right moment, and hopefully we're going to get them before
another school
Flushing or the Bobcats want them,
It's at least $88,000.
Yes, I'm not saying that because none of the new prices have come out, all we've heard, and if you look at any residential gaming computers or anything like that, you know that it's went bonanza. So the price of silver is really causing that right now. So
okay, thank you, Travis. Well, I guess, does anybody have any questions of Travis?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Travis. All right. I'm waiting for, anybody, no questions? Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we, so let's say official, a motion that we approve the bond instructional tech POs for $352,783.20.
Is there a motion by Jenny to approve the $352,783.20 for the bond it's with bond money from the tech POs for the, from the bond fund. So any
Support.
Supported by Ken. Any other further discussion? None? Let's see, would you do roll call vote, please?
Jenny Walgast,
Yes.
Kim Winter,
Yes.
Autumn Henry,
Yes.
Ken Engel,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey,
Yes.
Carrie Germain,
Yes.
Andrea Fick,
Yes.
7 yes.
Thank you. Motion passes. Get those ordered, Travis, before some other school. You said there was a limited supply left, right?
Correct.
All right, thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, board action items, is the asbestos bid approval. And there was a lot of discussion at this at operations. I don't know if you want to take it.
I'll take it a little bit. There's going to be construction in both the middle school and the high school this summer. And to do this construction, there has to be some asbestos removal. So that can't be done by the construction people here that with Hawk. So we had to bid that out ourselves. It does come out of construction funds. We did receive 7 bids on this project. We looked at the bids. We started with the low bidder. The low bidder we ruled out because after doing interviews with them, they were not going to be able to remove this asbestos in a timely manner where we was able to get the work done during the summer if we'd had to hold up our construction piece, and we may not have been able to start school on time in the fall. So then we looked at the second individual, and part of the bid was 100% of the asbestos in the areas where they were looking at were to be removed. Well, they were leaving a 1/4 of an inch of asbestos around, all the way around. Yeah, they said they could do a chemical seal, but we were very skeptical of a chemical seal. We then reviewed the third bid, and after we looked at the third bid and they looked at the asbestos again, they found out that they had really overbid on some of the asbestos, so their costs came in at a much lower rate, and that asbestos company was BDS, and their bids come in at $228,900 for the middle school and $33,500 for the high school. Our recommendation would be to accept that bid for the high school and the middle school, which is really second lowest bid at this point.
Is there any questions of Wayne?
Just to clarify, Wayne, the bid originally on the third one was over 3 times.
Yep. It wasn't over 3, it was like $100,000 over, yeah.
Yeah, the third bidder was around 360.
Yep.
And the next highest bidder was almost $800,000, and we were worried about that because there was nobody in between the 360, and this guy's the one that came down to, as Wayne said, almost $100,000. So it comes in line with the second lowest bidder, and the second lowest bidder, as Wayne said, that Building and Operations wanted to put some shellac on the asbestos tiles, and none of us felt really comfortable with that. So I think this is a good bid, just for my 2 cents worth, and this company was rated 1, or like one of the top companies to get it done on time.
Yes, they did have a review, and they got a great review from
Performance.
individual, performance.
Yeah, Performance Operations that rates these companies.
I would, well,
Yeah, you can, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I would move to approve, how does this go? The asbestos bid award to BDS Environmental in the total base amount of $228,900 for the Swartz Creek Middle School project and $33,500 for the high school project, paid from the bond.
Okay. There's a motion for that, and I believe the total's $262,400, but it is split into twos.
Support.
Support from who?
Andrea?
Andre, okay. Support from Andre. Discussion on the motion? No discussion, so for, the motion going to read for approval of the Operations Department Performance Environmental Service recommended awarding the bid to BDS Environmental in the total base amount of $228,900 for the Swartz Creek Middle School and $33,500 for the Swartz Creek High School. Project paid from the bond fund for a total of $262,400. Sue, roll call vote, please.
Autumn Henry,
Yes.
Andrea Fick,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey.
Yes.
Ken Engel,
Yes.
Jenny Walgas,
Yes.
Carrie Germain,
Yes.
Kim Winter,
Yes.
7 yes.
The motion passes. Next item is approval of the sale of school buses.
My understanding is the board approved the sale of 3 2012 school buses with a price of $6,500 for each vehicle. Well, they put it out for bid. The bids came back. We had 2 of the buses. The bids were over $6,500, which met the criteria of what the board had approved back then, but the third bus came back with a bid price under that amount, under the $6,500 floor amount that was set, and it came back with a bid of $6,000. But if we were to total the cost of the 3 buses which the board approved, which would have been $19,500, we're just $225 short. But since we were short of what the bid or what the board had approved back in, I don't know, it was November, December, whenever the time frame was, I thought we needed to bring this back to the board, even though it's $225 difference, but we need to approve this at a board level. And my recommendation would be that we would approve the sale of these 3 buses for a little bit less than the board had originally approved, because if we go back out and try to do it again, and by cost and things, so forth, we may even lose ground from where we're at now.
Support the motion.
You gotta move it.
Move the motion, I apologize.
What's your motion, to sell all 3 buses?
Sell all 3 buses for the new price, or the, minus the $225.
I'll support that.
Okay. Let me get this straight here, because it's not quite clear. So you're supporting a motion to sell all 3 buses for a total of $19,225, $225 less than the original $19,500 bid.
Correct.
I'm sorry, did I step on you?
No.
You were going to say something?
No, yes, I was going to say, it says, Mr. Loader wanted it to read, approves the sale of bus 27 with the sale price of $6,000.
That's all I wanted to say.
That's what
Without
he-
the total price of the 3. Okay.
That's what he mentioned, so. It's
That makes sense, since it was only about the 1 bus.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep, my fault.
Okay, so
So
withdraw your motion or amend it?
I'll withdraw my motion and amend it to sell bus 27 for $6,000.
Wait, we gotta first vote on the withdrawal.
Yeah, we gotta vote for the withdrawal, the motion.
And she's got,
Oh my
or somebody's gotta second it.
Yeah, just withdraw your motion, somebody.
I did
I
withdraw.
support.
Okay, there's support. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, ayes have it. Go ahead, Ken, if you want to restate your motion.
A lot of action for $225. For your approval, we recommend the sale of bus 27 for the sale of $6,000.
There's a motion to sell bus 27 for the sale price of $6,000. Support by who? Andrea. Any discussion? Sue, roll call vote.
Ken Engel?
Yes.
Autumn Henry?
Yes.
Kim Winter?
Yes.
Carrie Germain?
Yes.
Andrea Fick?
Yes.
Jenny August?
Yes.
Chuck Miller?
Yes.
7 yes.
Motion passes. Okay, we'll go back to public comment. Mr. Jones, I'll give you a few extra minutes because I cut you short on that, and we did have discussion, and I missed that down at the bottom, so I apologize. If you would like to come back up, I'll give you a couple extra minutes, or over and above your 3 minutes. Thank you.
So I guess back to the security deal, what I wonder versus an SRO, they don't have any law enforcement powers, which I understand. So what I understand is they're previously law enforcement, which sometimes they find it hard not to try to enforce the law. But here we are. So my other thing is who do these people report to? Whether they're in-house or out-of-house, do they report to the board? How does that work? How do they coordinate with the SROs? This is all kind of, I mean, and if you can work that out, that's fine. If you can give me a valid plan how this is going to work, you won't hear another word about it from me. That'll be that. Also, just so you know, there are studies out there that say that an armed guard in the building is not necessarily a deterrent to that happening, because a lot of people come there intending not to leave. So an unarmed guard watching those portals, making sure the doors are locked, making sure everything goes on, can be just as valid. So that's something I think you guys need to look into, because what I don't want is, and I know we do have the SROs, but I've had a couple little problems with their department, but I trust these guys. I've met them, I've talked to them, I trust them. I don't want, you know, some guy that's like, yeah, I'm kind of here and it's kind of cool and I'm kind of security guard and I kind of left my gun in the bathroom or something, which, you know, is a thing. Or, oh, this kid was lipping off, so I put him down. Well, maybe don't do that. So I think there might be some issues, but we've already identified that we might not even be able to find these mythical retired officers that we're going to find, because Ken's going to try to snap them up at his new department. These guys are going to try to snap them up at their department. We don't know what's going to go on. So anyway, I think that there needs to be a lot of thought put into this. There needs to be a lot of research as to what we're trying to accomplish, and will these people accomplish it, other than just having a guy loitering around the school with a gun, because that's a little iffy. Anyway, all that being said, wait a minute, I might have had a note. All right, so there's that. The other thing is if you're taking it out of this 31A money, which has been pointed out that is replenished yearly so far, that's not a guarantee of anything. And then the words were taken, well, we'll just take it out of the general fund, is what you said, sir, on December 10th. Or we could just take it out of the general fund. So that's kind of iffy, because we've had a board trustee here who has a problem with grants and ongoing things and funding them if the grant falls out. So we got to look at that too. There's some issues. I don't have a problem in the world with those schools being secure. It's how we do it and how we think about it and get it to where it works, not just some random, this good guy with a gun's going to stand here and he's going to stop it. And maybe not. So anyway, there's that. Your math, and I know you've gotten bids and stuff since then, but your math, when this was originally proposed on December 10th, was $20,000 to $30,000 per person. Premier, which is the person that you mentioned, because you kind of always have a guy, so there you go. But Premier, their last job offer or job posting that I saw from either November or December of last year was $23,000. Now, you said they're going to be there all day, which is, I think the teacher's contact hours is like 6, 7 hours. Oh, wait, I did it, didn't I? 6, 7 hours a day. But
About 30 seconds.
okay, but the building is open longer than that. So if you do the math at $23 an hour times 180 school days, times even 7 hours a day, times 5 guys, that's $144,000 if the company makes no profit. So your 20 to 30,000, depending on how the bids go, are going to be a little bit more than that. And the other thing, although, do I still have time?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, 5 minutes. Okay, so this was the whole time? All right. These guys are worth it. We don't know if security will be. Have a good one.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jones.
Good evening, everyone. Hi. This meeting's a pretty short one. Okay, well done. Just a couple things. Hi, I'm Brianne Wilson. I'm a community member. I work here. One thing, there's a question earlier about whether public comment at the beginning could relate to just action items or like anything on the agenda. I would support it being related to anything on the agenda because there have been times when a discussion item did turn into board decisions at the same meeting without being an action item. So just so people can comment on what might be decided that night. Regarding security at our elementary schools, I know I get along great with Officer Abraham at the high school. We have a good time. I know it would still be in the air where we might source these people from. We have to look at different angles. I would ask the board to consider if these individuals are going to be engaging directly with students or not, if they're more kind of stationed at the entrances, or if they're engaging with kids. If they are engaging directly with kids, if we could offer those hires training in how to work with young children, even if they're retired law enforcement officers, depending on their background, they might not have those specific skills, and we want them to integrate as well as possible into our school community. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Brianne. Anybody else from the audience that would like to address the public?
Josh Davis, I live on Miller Road. I just want to thank Dave Simonson. Today, we had a nice conversation just down the hallway when I came in to pay for a FOIA request. And although we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, Dave has always treated me with respect and continues to treat me with respect in every conversation that we have. And so, Dave, I appreciate that very much. And I try to give you as much as, all the respect I can too. So I feel comfortable, coming to you with the problems that I've had, and we seem to be able to work through most of them. It does bring me to my point that some things Dave and I don't agree on, and I think some FOIA training for the entire board as well as Dave would benefit everybody. I know we've had some investigations in the past over public documents and stuff like that, and the lawyer that came with the results from that investigation had also mentioned that FOIA training might be a good thing, a positive thing for the board. So I would still, I'd like to bring that back up because I know he had brought it up to you guys too. So the only other thing, I recently saw Mrs. Hiddle had a staff shout out, and I just kind of wanted to piggyback on that, saying that Ms. Hiddle was my son's favorite teacher of all time in the district, and I was happy to see her get the recognition that she deserves. A great teacher, she always has been. So thank you, Mrs. Hiddle. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else from public comment?
I want to get my 3 minutes.
Yes, sir. You do, Al.
Listening to some of the board's comments, I hadn't actually thought about the idea of you guys being, of course, concerned about what's going to go in next door. If there's a chance of getting a motion on the floor tonight on a conditional motion, or conditional approval of the issues I'm asking for on the property next door, it could absolutely be subject to the board's approval of the intended use. And Ken, I know you said somebody bought property, you know, and shame on them. Well, the Thompsons owned that property since the 40s, and Betty Shannon bought the property. She was our city treasurer in about the mid or late 70s. And when they bought it, that property drained properly to the south and right along the Mr. Lovegrove had a little trench back to the Smith Drain. But when the builders of the cage, if you notice that huge berm that's built on the north side, it redirects all the water right onto Betty Binder's property. So I wanted to throw that at you, and then and of course the attorneys would review everything. I really believe you're right, Ken. Anybody can sue anybody for anything, but these agreements are about as bulletproof as I think they can be. And if your attorney would agree, they can sue. But in the years, again, this is a wild projection on my part, but I would think the minimum amount of school taxes collected on that property on the low end would be $2,500 a year back to the school district. And in the future, there would be maintenance required on the approach that I'm talking about, relocating, and that maintenance would no longer be required. So I'd just like to consider those things. I think that's all the notes that I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Anything else from the public? No public comment? Okay, thank you. We'll go on to, I'm sorry, Sue.
I was just going to say, can I ask if you guys are going to vote on the finance report that Jenny gave? Usually you do.
Oh, we didn't make a motion, you're right.
Right,
Yes.
usually you do.
Thank you for reminding us.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't make that motion. Well, I can, but I'm not supposed to report, Chair. So usually what I used to do is make a motion to accept whoever the treasurer wrote the report because it's a money thing. So if anybody would like to do that, it'd be great.
Make a motion to accept the finance report completed by Jenny Walgas.
Yes.
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion to be made by Ken Engel to accept Jenny Walgas's treasurer's report, or financial report. She's not the treasurer, I apologize. She was doing Ken's job, and I think it was Carrie?
Andrea.
Or Andrea seconded that motion. Is there any discussion? No discussion? Roll call vote, please, Sue.
Carrie Germain,
Yes.
Andrea Fick,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey.
Yes.
Jenny Wolgass,
Yes.
Kim Winter,
Yes.
Ken Engel,
Yes.
I only did it
Henry?
because Jenny
Yes.
did, not you.
7 yes.
Sorry about that. I'm just joking. Motion passes. Thank you, Sue, for reminding me, or us in general. Board comment. We start down with Carrie.
All right, thank you to all the schools for your kind recognition and gifts. This is always such a nice night, and we appreciate all of you. And I just want to say thank you to all the staff and the people that support our students every day. There should be a year-long celebration of all of you. Also want to thank our sweet children that were here tonight who came up for the pledge. And I don't know if anybody can hear it. You might be able to hear it on the video, but the young lady that was standing here with the microphone, when they were completing the pledge, she said, "Good job, friends." And so that must be what they say at the end of the pledge in the morning. I just wanted to share that in case you weren't able to hear it. And then finally, Desi, thank you for being here and for staying and for the reports that you give us. And I hope that everyone enjoys a safe and enjoyable, fun snow coming. And so thank you for sharing that with us. And that's all I had. Oh, I'm sorry. Our two new staff, Rebecca Frederick and Mandy Thomas, welcome to Swartz Creek. Thank you for choosing us.
Next.
I will second all the things you just said. I won't keep this going, but thank you to all of the students and staff for the great gifts. I tried to display them all along the way, so thank you for that. I do think we need to, as a board, decide what agenda items are people allowed to talk about in the beginning or not? I mean, it's never been an issue before. So are we going to limit them to just board action items or anything on the agenda here? I mean, what if they wanted to make a comment about, you know, the superintendent search process?
Yeah, I have a so does Robert's rules, does that limit where motions can be made to only under board action items?
I'm talking about public comment.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like, part of Ms. Wilson's public comment, she stated that if we were going to be taking action on it, then absolutely allow, you know, those
She
to
was
be
just
brought
saying,
up.
sometimes we take a discussion item and it becomes.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, so, but I think Robert's rules prevents that. I would have to double check, I don't want to lie up here, but if it does, then I hope that that clears that up and makes a little more sense. If not, then I don't really have a problem.
And we did adopt the simplified version, so we're going to have to read both versions. Robert's rules is this thick, and it is quite complex, just to answer Andrea's question. And simplified, I think, is what we wanted, so it wasn't so complicated. And I've been scolded the last couple of meetings because people started out on an agenda item just briefly, then they kind of drifted into something else. Not that Mr. Jones did that, but I was a little gun shy because people have approached me and said that I'm letting people start out on one item and then they drift to off record. So, and I apologize to Mr. Jones. So I don't have a problem with doing the board discussion items, but that's something we can decide. Maybe you guys can email me and tell me what your thoughts are on it without any, CCs to anybody else, and we can discuss it at next board meeting to make it official. I don't have an issue with that either
I think
way.
if it's on the agenda, and I think people, we had one meeting, they got very carried away. People were going off topic completely, but I think we reeled it in a little
Fair
bit.
discussion.
Yeah, if it's on here, I mean, there's not a lot, but if there's
Maybe
something
we'll have
on here.
Brianna research it for us and get back to us.
Perfect.
She's a Robert's Rules expert.
I thought she was going to tell us, she looked it up while she was sitting there. I was waiting for the outcome, but.
She gave us her opinion.
Her
It was real
opinion, I
close.
thought she was going to bring us the facts, so like, hey, by the way.
Yeah, no, I just.
So the other thing that's been brought up, and I do appreciate Dave and Michelle, the presentation that they did Monday night was great. We had community members here, community members have watched it since then. They're off to a great start. I think they're even a little ahead of schedule. They mentioned on a couple things for the K-5 reconfiguration. But I know when we discussed this and we made the vote, I was 100% under the impression, when I made the motion, we did this, that we were keeping open minds, that we didn't have to do it this fall, that we very much needed to consider that it might have to be the fall of 2027. And the feedback we're getting a lot from our staff is they have a lot on their plates right now, learning new curriculums, learning how to teach those new curriculums. And I think the pushback, no, it's not probably the best word to use, but I think the concern is not doing this with some of the people. It's so much so fast. They have a lot on their plates right now, a lot of learning of new materials, and it's just kind of quick. And the last one was quick and kind of done, everybody said it, like it got pushed through. I think we need to be better this time. I think we need to take the fact that it was quick last time, let's maybe reconsider this. We haven't even, as a board, looked at the amount of materials we have to now add. I loved this idea when it came out a few years ago because of the fact we'd be able to gear our STEAM labs to 3 grades. Now we don't have, and someone mentioned the other night, we don't have 3D printers at all of them. That is something that is a 3-5 building need, not a K2 building need. Well, now we have to have it everywhere. So there's a lot of materials and supplies that now we have to have in these buildings that we put in there when we were doing bond work specifically for those grades. And we don't know what those are. I mean, we went into this very blind with no data in front of our face, no financials in front of our face. I'm not saying not do it. I think we really need to consider, and I'm kind of pushing this out to Wayne and the admin staff here, is are we pushing you guys too much to make this happen? Because we're not in here every day. We're not there every day. We're not in these buildings. We're not learning the new curriculum. So are we pushing too much with a lack of knowledge and information, a lack of finances to make this happen fall of '26? So something to think about, consider that we may be making this happen too quickly, and we're gonna make the same mistakes we made last time by doing it too fast.
Ken?
I'm going to start mine with where Andrea ended, so I can end on a happy note. The last time this was done, the two are not comparable. The last time it was done within about 6 or 7 weeks. It was a bomb that was dropped on us after COVID, during COVID, by the superintendent. It was a 6 to 7 week transfer. Had we started this when we voted on it, it'd have been 11 months. We finally got started this month, hot and heavy with it. We still have roughly 8 months. As far as finances go, finance is not a problem. We have a fund balance at 28%, which is almost unheard of. 15% is very accepted within education. And last, we have asked, we have told, make a list. So if the building principals are not putting this out to the staff members, if the administration building's not putting this out to the staff members, then shame on them. We've said that over and over and over. So if you, and I'm not picking on what you said, but we used the example of printers. Let's get printers on the list. This is not a hurry. This is a lengthy process. If they can do it in 6 weeks, whether it was done poorly or not, if we can't do something in 8 months that they did in 2020 in 6 or 7 weeks during COVID, then we might want to think of looking at different administrators and leadership here. This shouldn't be a problem. Now, this goes back to one of my favorite cliches. There's 3 kinds of people in this world. There's people that make things happen, there's people that watch things happen, and then there are people who go, hey, what happened? No one here should be a what happened. So I don't see a problem with this at all. There, now we'll go back to the happy stuff. Thank you to all the building administrators and staff and children that came in and celebrated with the board tonight. That was amazing. When Andrea threw the mic out, the little fella here, and he started us on the pledge, I was like, that's pretty cool, man. Might be something we try a little different every time we got the little guys and gals in here. And another topic, the superintendent search. And this is something I think the public needs to understand, because the board keeps getting thrown under the bus, and particular board members, and I am one of them. I have no issue with these people that apply for this job of not putting their business out there with their current school district that they want to apply for another job. But if you're going to apply for another job, be a big boy or a big girl and tell your employer that, hey, I might be taking advantage of something over at Swartz Creek, and I'm going to apply. Don't know if I'm going to get it, but I'm going to apply. They're afraid we're going to contact their districts. In the first round of interviews, but let me back this up, because we're doing this a little different than we did the last time. It sounds like we're going to take this from 30 candidates down to maybe 8 to actually interview. The last time MASB did that for us. We started out with 8. However we do it, I made it very clear to Ray and Associates, I have no intentions of doing anything until we get down to our final 2 or 3. And yes, then I am going to do some of my own checking. And I would encourage every employee, every community member, just do a little checking. And again, Ray and Associates don't like this. But at the end of the day, they recommended, and a man was hired in Pennsylvania that was not a U.S. citizen and did not have the education that he claimed he had. So for me to sit and say I have a lot of faith in them, I do not. If I had my chance to do over again, I wouldn't hire them. But they're here, and we'll run through the process with them. But yes, this is going to drag out at our meetings for a long time because they wanted us to sign a document that said we would not do any of our own contacting of this one or that one or their school district. And I co-signed it. I asked them to put one other line in it, that when we get to the final round, that waiver would be null and void. They sent it to us, they pulled it, someone pulled it. I know Sue didn't pull it, but Sue's the one that told me it was pulled. And the language in it didn't change. It was the same language. So I was going to sign a document, whereas to protect the district and the employees and ourselves, I was going to not be able to do one thing besides look at what Ray and Associates provided me. Still not signing their document, and they pulled it back anyway. So just so everybody understands, I think 2 or 3 of us were not cooperative. We weren't cooperative for a good reason. And the reason, our children, our staff, and the community. And if you don't believe that, I'm sorry. But no one wants to ruin anyone's workplace or anything else. But if you're going to apply for a job, it's not a secret, man. Tell your employer. It's like I told 2 superintendents here. I encourage you, if you can find a job that pays more money close to your house, you like it better, go. That's common sense to better yourself. So just, that's the little tidbit on that.
Kim?
I would just like to thank everyone for the lovely gifts up here, and makes us feel appreciated. The other thing, the discussion about the guards in the school. I mean, you use the word a man loitering around with a gun at the school. That's not going to be the case. We're not going to just hire some Joe Schmo off the street, you know. The other thing I want to say, Amy, this game, I just have to say, I bought this for my son for Christmas, this same game about 3 years ago, and he took his. I'm glad that I have one in my house now. So that's all I have.
Ms. Jenny?
Okay, and like everybody else, I definitely very much appreciate everybody for the appreciation gifts and for coming out here. You know, it's cold, nasty weather out there, so I appreciate all the adults and all the kids that came out here and spent the time, and even the time that they took to put the videos together. You know, that takes time, that takes work, so I really appreciate all the time and effort that everybody put in, and we really appreciate it. I also wanted to say that I appreciate Michelle and Dave for doing the K-5 presentation on Monday. I was really hoping to be able to attend, but I have been sick, and I was afraid that the room was going to be filled, and I did not want to make everybody sick, so I'm like, I'm going to watch this at home. But I did have a concern because part of the reason why I felt comfortable staying home and watching it from home was because in the past, when we had a town hall over at the PAC, where it wasn't a board workshop, it wasn't a board committee meeting, it wasn't anything, there was a big deal made about the fact that the board members were not allowed to speak. Chuck tried to go up and waited in line and was told he had to sit down and could not speak. So my understanding was that sitting at home watching it wouldn't be any different from being in here because board members were not allowed to speak because it wasn't a board meeting. And yet, while I was watching the meeting, I witnessed the board members that were in attendance speaking. And that concerned me, and it also concerned me that one of the board members seemed to be speaking on behalf of the board, and I definitely did not authorize that person to speak on my behalf. And so I would like to just make sure that we standardize that, so establish ahead of time, if we're going to have a meeting like this, is this a situation where board members are going to be able to make comments and share opinions, or not, just so that there's no confusion, and so that all the opinions are represented. Because watching it, I felt like the opinions of the people that were not for this change were very well represented. the opinions of the people that, really wanted and supported I might have misspoke. The people that were against the change were supported. The people that are for this change and wanted the schools to go back, I did not hear much, if any, support for that. And I feel that's a disservice. We made that decision based on the input that we received off the survey. Yes, that's part of it. But also input that we received from other people. I know as a single parent, trying to get in here and sit through these meetings and stand up at the microphone and share my comments has not been something that I've been able to do. That's a privilege. And when you have little kids, you have multiple kids, you are working, you can't always do that. And those are the parents that are, I feel, more directly affected by these building splits. They're the ones that are trying to figure out how to get kids back and forth between the different schools, how to make it to the parties, how to make all these different things happen. So, taking the stance that all these opinions that we're hearing are saying that, they love the split and we shouldn't go back, you're doing a disservice to the people that are not able to come and voice those opinions. We tried to get their opinions by doing the survey, where it didn't require coming here and sitting here and sitting through these meetings, and that's how we received their input. So I just, I sympathize with the teachers, I sympathize with the staff, I sympathize with everybody that is not in favor of this decision. I do. I sympathize with the thought that we need to slow down. I disagree. Like Ken, I think that this is plenty of time. And again, as somebody who was a single parent trying to manage this stuff, thankfully my kid was in 5th grade when the change was made, and we were virtual, so we weren't really affected by it. But it would have been a major issue for me at the time. So I feel for those parents that don't have the privilege to be able to just have a grandparent come pick their kid up, or be able to, split time. So just because those people aren't here doesn't mean that they don't have opinions and that they don't matter. So that's my.
Thank you, Jane.
I don't have much. Thank you, everybody who came out. I appreciate all the gifts, like everyone else. And I am going to be making some more time to stop into buildings because I need to be there. I need to see, everybody and what goes on a day-to-day, because I feel like I do miss out on a lot of the fun stuff, working similar hours. So I'm going to try to get there in the next coming months and maybe pop into some of the elementaries and work my way up. But that's about all I have.
Okay, thank you. I'm just going to echo everything and add a couple things, and I want to thank the staff, the kids that came. Thank you for one of my favorite book covers from Amy, and I know Jamie couldn't be here, and I think Andrea was selling these Monopoly games 4 or 5 years ago, or somebody was, I don't recall who, but it was.
Class of 24 and 25.
Yeah.
Probably.
So, thank you for the game, and thank Little Dragons for the gifts they gave in the elementaries and the middle school, Mr. Kaplan for the donation back, so we can give it back to a kid to help some kids out. I think that's kind. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everybody's public comments and the security. There's some things that opened my eyes, so we're going to have a lot of discussion on that, I think, before we make any decision. So everybody's entitled to their opinion. I think that's good. The K-5, I think it's going smooth. I think that I've had discussion with some teachers now and some administrators, and I think everybody is going to try to do the right thing, and we're going to do the right thing as a board to help the teachers and the staff. And I've said that comment, I think, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times now. So we're gonna help them out as much as we can, and I think David, Michelle, and Wayne is doing a great job. And I want to thank Wayne. He jumped into this job about 4 weeks ago, and he's doing a wonderful job. Everybody I've talked to respects him and thinks he's doing wonderful, and he has a ton of experience. And I've had a couple teachers and administrators say he's a little bit like a general. Well, he wasn't a general, he was only a colonel in the military, and he has the experience to go along with this. So I think he's doing a great job for everybody. He's fair. We're going to get into contract negotiations soon, and at least get the preliminary contract negotiations started for the teachers so they feel a little bit more at ease of what's going on with all the other transitions that is going on. And we got a lot going on. I don't disagree with everybody, and everybody is doing a great job as best as we can. I do have a couple of things, and this may have been instituted years ago, but I thought about it a couple months ago, and we've been so busy. I'd like to bring up an Adopt a School program, and that's where, I don't know if you've even heard of this, Wayne. I come up with crazy ideas, but I think it'd be good. We have 7 board members, and we have 7 schools and Little Dragons, and Little Dragons could be like tied into maybe Cyrene. And I've been visiting the schools for the last, my 8-year career here, the last 5.5 years. I go in, stop at the school office. I'm here, I'd like to just walk around and see the kids and stuff. But I think if we adopt a program where each board member adopts one of the buildings, we could go there more often. Not to say that's one building we have to go to, but maybe go there every, a couple, 3 months, go with the superintendent, have a cup of coffee with the principal, maybe some of the lead teachers, walk around, see what they need. Because I think when somebody comes in and they say, hey, we need this hallway painted, if one of the board members have been in that particular school, they're like, they can kind of advocate for that school. And it's no way, it's not micromanaging, it's not to get in, over the, there, but it just gives a little bit more voice when I could say, oh yeah, Cyrene's my school, and man, the gym needs a new floor, needs something, which Bill tells us that, but it's better when you see it, so when you vote on it, you know what you're voting on, and you're talking from the heart, from a board member. So I would like to institute something new, adopt a school, because we have 7 members, we have 7 schools, Cyrene, and, we just talk about, that's it. Is that cool with everybody? I mean, I'm not saying we do, I'm just saying open for discussion. And then during a couple of recent things I found, I was going to read this last month, a review of board actions and contracts that came to the attention of the board, that there's an addendum made to interim superintendent's contract was executed without evidence of any approval or record of vote by full board or open meeting. I'm not making any conclusions or intent on responsibility. My goal is simply to ensure that the board's actions are clear, properly authorized, and consistent with our legal obligations. So at that end, I'm going to refer this to board legal or, just so everybody knows, unless somebody has a problem with it. And the same thing with the undisclosed property relation negotiations. Site visits were made. These activities occur without notice or involvement of the full board, although independent investigations ongoing from Kendall Williams. I'm going to send this along to Kendall Williams, that one, so everybody knows about that. And there was a concern by Mr. Davis a couple months ago that handwritten notes were tore up. I don't know if we ever sent that to our legal counsel for legal review. Did that get sent, Sue? It did? Yes. On the board notes? Yes. Okay, I didn't have that one, so if it has, then good, just let me review that in the board, and the rest of the board. I don't think we reviewed it. I don't know if it was passed on to us. So if it hasn't, that's it. That's all I ask, and I appreciate everybody staying. As other board members have said, it's been a long, cold day. It's going to be cold for the next 2 weeks. And like I said, once again, I appreciate the gifts. It means a lot to me, and I want to try to get back to the school and help all the buildings out individually, and maybe the teachers, and, like you said, you can refer to them, see if they would like a program like that where we could each adopt a building, pull a name out of the hat, go there 3 times a year, and what's going on. Although our command staff, Bill and Travis, tells us a lot what's going on, but it's good if we can see it more hands-on. And I went to the schools a lot the last couple of years I haven't went. I think the last time I went was about 1.5 years ago to the high school and went through that for about maybe, I think Brian helped me. You were with me, Brian, right? I usually stop in the principal's office and walk around for a half an hour, and the principals even invite us, but I think more of a formal thing would be good if the board's into that, you know what I mean? So that's all I have for comments. Any motion to maybe close it? We tried to get done by 8. Go ahead, Kim.
I'd just like to say something. Mr. Love, I'm so excited to see that play because it sounds way cool.
Cool stage.
So thank you, yeah.
Motion.
Yeah, I'll motion to adjourn if everybody's good.
Yeah, there's a motion by Autumn to adjourn the meeting. Second by Mr. Ken Engel. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Thank you very much for coming, everybody. And ayes have it. I think we're done in record